The number one thing I hear from people today is they want reality, they want the truth, they want you to be authentic. So today I'm breaking down my top tips so you can learn to speak from your heart. We often use terms related to body organs to describe how we communicate with other human beings. We are of like minds. We trust our guts. Our hearts go out to people. Of all those, I believe our hearts are the most powerful in making a connection with another human being. That's why, for leaders, we talk about winning people's hearts and minds, not their minds and hearts. Now more than ever, we need to be real with people. As a keynote speaker and trainer, I tell a lot of stories. I often share a powerful experience I had 25 years ago when I was leading media relations for an insurance company. Part of my role was to go to the scene of disasters. I was going to the scenes of earthquakes and fires and floods and hurricanes and other tragedies. My first major disaster was a scorched earth fire that destroyed more than 400 homes in the beautiful seaside town of Santa Barbara. It's usually heaven on earth, but this day it looked like hell on earth, as if like some giant meteor had come from the sky and struck the side of the mountain. I was with a claims adjuster and she was going to take me to the home of one of our customers. He was an elderly widower who had lost everything. All of his family photos and all of the other possessions in this huge, devastating fire. When I was telling this story during a recent keynote talk, I just kind of choked up. I had to pause while telling it because I still feel his loss. And because of all the lights in my eyes, I couldn't see everybody, but I could see a few rows in front and people's eyes were glistening. And there was one woman in particular, she was sitting there and she was dabbing her eyes. I realized we had connected, that my heart had spoken to hers. With this in mind, here are 5 practical tips for speaking from your heart to make a deeper connection with people. Number 1, share yourself. We have to be open and risk vulnerability in order to receive the same from others. People want to know who you really are. What experiences have shaped you? What brought you here? What motivates you? In sales, we talk about the development of trust as know, like, and trust. Know starts with sharing yourself. People want to know who you are. 2, be personal. Talk like a real human being. So often leaders shift into presentation mode. They're being stiff and formal. You got to kill the jargon and relate to people in a way that shows you are real. In a world where so much is contrived, people appreciate your sincerity and authenticity. Number 3, show your passion. What do you love in your work or your life? Sharing that and displaying your enthusiasm will go a long way towards showing people your real humanity. We can sense when people are excited about something, and we get excited too. In high school in California, I had a teacher who was a history teacher who was also an aviation enthusiast with a focus on World War II. He had all these small model planes hanging all over the room, and though it was the last thing my friends and I would typically care about, by the end of the semester we were heading off to aviation shows and loving every minute of it. Our teacher's passion and stories won us over. I still love planes today. Number 4, listen to people. When we are present in the moment, when we are fully listening to others, our words will flow more naturally. For some reason, maybe it's because our subconscious takes over, it's much easier to speak freely and fully when we've listened to people, when we understand what they want and need in that moment. I found this to be true across the board, from large audiences to one-on-one conversations. And number 5, tell your story. Perhaps the easiest and most effective way to speak from your heart is to tell your story. As humans, we are hardwired for telling and hearing stories. They convey who we are, they teach us lessons, and they build trust. Stories connect us as people. Sharing your story will build a bridge with people who are the most important to you, and they will help you ultimately achieve success. It's not easy to risk vulnerability, to speak from your heart. It's uncomfortable, but that's kind of the point. Anything that takes you out of your comfort zone takes courage, or as they say, it takes heart. If you found this video helpful, please share it with a friend, and also please consider subscribing. That way I'll see you back here next time for more practical tips on storytelling, communication, and habits.